today I have a book review for you, and this is one of my most requested and anticipated book reviews of 2015, and that book is Carry On by Rowell. Here it is, finally, Rowell's Carry On. Woo, book discussion. Why am I dancing? Get on with the video. Rowell has a book called Fangirl, and I've said this in a couple of other videos. I spoke about it in my haul and stuff, but if you haven't seen that, Rowell has a book called Fangirl, which is about a girl called Kath. And in Fangirl, Kath writes fan fiction. One of those fan fictions is about two characters called Simon Snow and Baz, and they go to a school which is a magical school, and they are roommates. And that story is called Carry On, Simon. And this is essentially that fan fiction. So I would recommend reading Fangirl because it's absolutely incredible, and I would also recommend this book because it's really good and I couldn't put it down. You don't have to read them both. You wouldn't have to read Fangirl to understand this, and you wouldn't have to read this to understand Fangirl. It's absolutely fine. They are just sort of, this is just a little extra thing. You don't have to read them both to understand the other. They are independent novels. They just have a link. I'm going to be spoilery now, so if you haven't read it, go a different place and then read it and come back and then we can talk about it. So, Carry On. This book was a lot bigger than I was anticipating. It's about 400 odd pages, and I was not expecting it to be that long because I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be that long, but when I picked it up, it was a lot bigger than I thought, but that didn't be a problem because I couldn't stop reading it. I loved the characters so much. I loved Baz. I loved Baz so much. He was such a good character. I could literally read an entire novel that was just based on him and his life because I found him really funny. He was making me laugh. The whole relationship between him and Simon and the way that they are, the bants that they have, I was really enjoying it, and it was really adding to the story and just giving sort of humour in serious times and just making me laugh, and I thought it was really well done. The thing with this is that it's Harry Potter, isn't it? Like it's supposed to be like Harry and Draco, and you could definitely tell, like it definitely had that kind of vibe to it, and you could definitely see the parallels within those universes. It's not Harry Potter, it's Simon Snow, and it's that story, but you could definitely see the parallels and the links and sort of what inspired this particular piece of fan fiction. But it was very good, and I liked that. I liked that it felt familiar. When I started reading this, it didn't feel like I was going into something that I had no idea because of the links to Fangirl and the way that Kath would talk about the characters when she was writing about them, but then also because of the really like minor Harry Potter feel that it had to it, it felt like I was reading something familiar rather than starting a whole new novel. As usual, Rowell's writing is absolutely incredible. She's one of my favourite authors. I think that the way that she writes and the stories that she creates, they just seem effortless. Like the way that you read the story just seems, it just flows so well and flows so nicely, and I don't ever feel like there's any like stops or starts and stuff. I just feel like I'm reading the story, and it's really well written. It's really descriptive. Her stories really help me picture it in my head, the way that she writes it, words that she uses and the sentences that she uses. I can picture what she's writing in my head, and it's so good, and I love it so much. Her writing style is incredible, and I always look forward to reading a book by her. I thought that the whole twist with it was absolutely incredible. The whole that Simon ended up creating sort of like a shadow of him, and that every time he did something that was causing all of this chaos. I thought that was a really unique ending, and I wasn't expecting it. I was trying to work out who this guy was and why all these things were happening and why Simon was experiencing these things, and that's something that I've never really seen in anything before. Usually it's just a separate entity bad guy, and I really liked that. The only thing that I can sort of compare it to is Callum in the Magisterium series by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black, because that's sort of, you know, a similar thing. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read that, but I thought that this was quite a unique villain and a unique way that was done, and I really liked that. The relationship between Baz and Simon was giving me all the feels like fanfiction should, because you can definitely tell that Simon likes him before they even are told that Simon likes him. The way that he's trying to figure out where he is, why he's been gone, what he's been doing. He's so fixated on this guy that he clearly has feelings for him. And I'm sat there just thinking, Simon, just when he gets back, just go and kiss him, let it all out. You know, you need to let all this tension and let all these feelings out, because you're clearly experiencing something there, aren't you? Baz gets back and he is saying all these things about him, and he's like, and I'm just completely in love with him. I was like, yes, finally, now tell him, now get together. And it was a whole like, please, I wanna like smash your heads together in the most loving way. Like thing with the Madge and stuff, and how that all unfolded, and what he thought, and how it's not always right. I sort of like it when it says that just because someone is in like kind of authority and in that kind of position doesn't always mean that they have the right idea, and doesn't always mean that what they say is right. And I think that that's something that should be explored more. I feel that that gets ignored in some novels as well, like especially in Harry Potter, because Dumbledore is not a perfect character. He is a flawed character, and he has a lot of things that he gets wrong and he does wrong. And I think a lot of people seem to overlook that, but I think that this was good in the sense that it was saying, look, actually this person that's been training Simon and telling Simon all these things is saying, actually no, that's not right. You know, we know what's going on, we know what's right in this situation, and we have to do something about it. The whole thing about being able to talk to the members of the dead, and how he spoke to the woman and he thought it was Baz's mum. When you just read the end of the one chapter and it just says, Simon, Simon, my rosebud boy, and you realise that he spent all this time and he thought that, you know, he didn't know what was going on with his family, and that he didn't know if he was wanted, but then actually you get to see this insight into that and realise that she, you know, his mum did want him and didn't want to let him go. And I thought that was a lovely little like add into it. It gives some kind of closure, not necessarily to Simon, but it gives closure to the reader, and you understand more of what's going on and how that situation unfolded. So yeah, I really liked this book. I felt the same way about it as I felt when I was reading Fangirl. It just was very sort of happy and a nice book to read. Obviously it's got sort of angsty moments and sad moments. It just made me really happy and I couldn't put it down. It was literally everything I didn't know that I needed was in this book, and it was given to me, and I felt a lot like, yes, finally got to experience Simon Snow. And I want everybody to go and read Fangirl, and everybody to go and read this, and everybody to go and read Landline and everything else. And it's really good, and I really liked it. So yeah, that's just basically like my favourite moments, I guess, of Carry On. Let me know some of your favourite parts of Carry On down in the comments, and we can talk more about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you next time. Bye!